Long ago, there was a beautiful island in the middle of the sea where the sun shone brightly and the breeze blew gently. The island was home to many creatures such as birds, fish, turtles, and monkeys who lived in harmony and peace with its human inhabitants. The island was being guarded by two gods who watched over its treasures and protected it from harm. Dayap-hangin, the god of the sky, controlled the weather and the seasons, and Alonsilat, god of the sea, controlled the waves and the tides. The two gods were brothers, and they loved each other dearly. One day, a terrible storm came to the land, bringing thunder, lightning, and rain. At daybreak, the two gods were awakened and captivated by a magical voice. They both searched the island to find a mysterious visitor. Dayap-hangin scoured the mountain, while Alonsilat checked the ocean and the shore. Under a shaded cave, he found the visitor, a beautiful mermaid with long golden hair called Galera. Galera was washed ashore in the island during the storm. She was patrolling the area when the storm hit and injured her tail. Alonsilat and Dayap-hangin persuaded Galera to stay in the island while waiting for her wound to get better, and it brought them immense joy when Galera decided to stay. While staying in the island, Galera bonded with its inhabitants. She would accompany them in a shallow water to fish and join the kids in swimming. As time passed by, the two gods fell in love with Galera. They both want her to be their wife. They both courted her and showered her with gifts. Alonsilat is a playful and happy god, and whenever Galera is with him, she is always giggling. Dayap-hangin, on the other hand, is a quiet but a generous god who gave her everything she can think of. But being a creature who lives her whole life at the sea, Galera grew fonder of Alonsilat. This angers Dayap-hangin. The bright and sunny island turned into a gloomy and chilly place because of the anger and jealousy that Dayap-hangin is harboring in his heart. The inhabitants became wary for their future because their crops are often destroyed by the weather. The fishermen in the island couldn't fish in the ocean because the wind destroys their boats whenever they put sail. Alonsilat, on the other hand, is neglecting his duty in the island because all he wants to do was to be with Galera. The inhabitants of the island started praying to the heavens. They gathered their last food and used it as an offering. The highest being heard them and decided to punish Dayap-hangin and Alonsilat for their negligence and selfishness. The thunder roared and a bolt of lightning hit the sea. The wind blew hard and created a giant whirlpool. Just before the giant whirlpool reached the shore, Galera jumped into the water and used her body to block the whirlpool. She stretched her body into a C shape and closed her eyes. Alonsilat and Dayap-hangin immediately ran towards Galera to rescue her, but they were too late. A strong rolling thunder and a blazing lightning simultaneously hit Galera and burned her. Dayap-hangin and Alonsilat couldn't believe their eyes. Galera was burning. Alonsilat commanded the sea to wash Galera's body, but it was too late. Galera turned into a C-shaped rock. Just then, it all came to nothing. Alonsilat and Dayap-hangin bent their knees, mourning for their carelessness. Galera seemed to have destined this, putting an end to the siblings' clash. Alonsilat wiped his face to shed the tears made with forlorn. Dayap-hangin fixed his sorrowful eyes to his beloved, reckoning his unjustifiable endeavor. The sea says it all. Groaning and murmuring, all the things with life were left hanging. The fish, corals, and other species scattered at once. The inhabitants Galera once cared for came walking, getting closer to her new formation, fixing their lips, trying to be at peaceful smiles, begging for their tears not to fall. Love never fails to seduce people. However, together with Alonsilat and Dayapangin, the people in the island made Galera's figure into the symbolism of courage and kindness. Dayapangin made an assurance to make a strong and undoubtful stone formation for his beloved, knowing that seasons may change according to the weather, and also his grave may explode at any time, causing the weather's fury. Alonsilat, all the same, weighed the love he received from Galera, and as a return, made a placid sea near the girl's grave. Afterwards, the island began to stand from its defeat. The water started to absorb the reflection of the sky, and so did Alonsilat and Dayapangin. The sea shape of Galera was often visited by the inhabitants, which are commonly her people. Year after year, more and more visitors gave honor to her, while Alonsilat and Dayapangin departed their homeland to make amendments and peace in the month of May. To prevent any misery when their gods have abandoned them, these people declare a feast once a year in the same month they were abandoned by the tree creature, the month of May. They would wear colorful dresses and parade in the whole hometown, showcasing the love they had presented and will forever present to Galera. Other countrymen started to inquire about Galera, since they were delighted to see feast as that of Feast de Galera. They came with a boat, and others had some bigger catch. These people sailing even came with different language with bonnets, long rounded hats, pointed noses, curly hair, and boots which look heavier than their boats. Speaking of sailing, to find where the grave of Galera takes place, these people started mimicking Puerto, saying they need a port to rest with their exhausted boats as well. People may think these strangers or immigrants were thankful and ecstatic by their hospitality, but it is the contrary. They, the foreigners, are concerned with Galera's cove. They believed that it wasn't made with limestone. It was combined with silver veins, and the diamond rocks inside it were hidden for the preservation of the cove. They couldn't help but to possess ownership over the native people of the island. These people are Spaniards. Their battle over Filipinos came into a positive one. They won. They had it in their hands, the Cove of Galera. They collected the wealth of these innocent people without sympathy or any remorse. As soon as they departed, the cove was left behind and devastated. After a year, the cove was believed to have a power where whoever came and sailed in it will be receiving various blessings from God Dayapangin, Alonsilat, and Galera, and so they always rest and wait till dawn, wondering if there will be a miraculous phenomenon. However, only safety and peace this cove could offer to the sailors. The time passed as if it was only yesterday, the memory of yesterday's feast. The Cove of Galera became the spot for boat sailing in the island and later on called Puerto Galera. As people from generation to generation passed the story of Galera, her life with God Alonsilat and Dayapangin, together with their people's acquaintanceship with the Spaniards, which profoundly influenced the way they speak.